What you know about the work we putting in? Say you want it all, don't wanna work for it. Shit don't come in easy, no it never was. You trust me, this ain't everything you thought it is. Cause everybody wanna be a part of it, but all I had was me when I first started this. Plotting on this moment, I've been locked in, but they don't know the struggle, been a lot of it. Yeah, I was down on my knees.
Ladies and gentlemen, it was a cold-blooded, premeditated murder.
Please don't go. I promise that I'm done with you. I promise that the end is near, my love. I'm so reckless, you ain't gonna see me anymore. Too much energy, too many drugs that I be on. For my mental, maybe for tonight I've had enough. Pop another one when I'm at home and I'm alone. I'm too selfish, you're too precious to get involved. No, you miss the days that we would sit and we would talk all about this shit now that we see in front of us. I love this shit, I don't ever wanna take a moment to myself, soul searching, yeah. Now that I found my home and what my purpose is, I ain't tryna pay no mind to the negatives. Fucking on me right, baby, there it is, yeah. Money comes as it goes, not for me to rely on. Cause baby, that shit don't matter, we got love. Sipping on that shit made me slow, but I'ma do it because I don't see nothing but reasons to pull up. I was down on my knees.
Ladies and gentlemen, it was a cold-blooded, premeditated
Looking
murder.
for an answer, please don't go. I promise that I'm done with you. I promise that the end is near, my love. I'm so reckless, you ain't gonna see me anymore. Too much energy, too many drugs that I be on. For my mental, maybe for tonight I've had enough. Pop another one when I'm at home and I'm alone. I'm too selfish, you're too precious to get involved. No, you miss the days that we would sit and we would talk all about this shit now that we see in front of us. I love this shit, I don't ever wanna stop, yeah. Your baby from the north, hot stone cold, getting what she want, all she ever known. Playing in the snow, piling on my stones. She gon' come and go, baby from the north. Girls from the north, crazy in the north. Baby, I'ma show you how I do it when I'm home. She don't feel the love, I don't feel the love. I like it when it's cold, she need me to keep her warm. She got that goose, yeah, with the real for a great goose, yeah. Make her feel good, you cold, I see her wrist lean. Got me moving slow, she need me, I be in her dream. She hit the North Pole, spend my cash, make it back. What you need, I got you smoke, yeah. Baby from the north, your heart is stone cold. You can hit me up, anytime you want. For the drugs or the love, you can have it all. I'm cold to the touch, you bad to the bone. Baby from the north, heart stone cold, getting what she want, all she ever known. Playing in the snow, piling on my stones. She gon' come and go, baby from the north. Girls from the north, crazy in the north. Baby, I'ma show you how I do it when I'm home. She don't feel the love, I don't feel the love. I like it when it's cold, she need me to keep her warm. Move on me, baby, it's getting cold back home, we trapping through the rain, yeah. Say she need a ice to get her through the pain, yeah. Fucked you like the other night, I should've got your name, yeah. My blood is cold, so much for love. Get you through the long nights, oh baby. When I get left alone, I go crazy. I'm left out in the snow, my mind's racing. I left you in the cold, please don't. Baby from the north, hot stone cold, getting what she want, all she ever known. Playing in the snow, piling on my stones. She gon' come and go, baby from the north. Girls from the north, crazy in the north. Baby, I'ma show you how I do it when I'm home. She don't feel the love, I don't feel the love. I like it when it's cold, she need me to keep her warm.
Okay, we are live. Finally!
We made it.
We made
Wow.
it. I'm gonna get the...
Sometimes it's just a journey, man.
Dude, it's
Getting
been a
here.
journey. I'm gonna get this ambient music on, and then I just might need to change my screen for you so you can hear it too. There we go. That should be good. Let's check the stream. Yeah. Okay.
Yo, 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 yo.
Yo, yo, yo. So last week we tried to make this happen. It didn't work out. But we are back. And we're gonna do it this week. And yeah, so with you, I wanted to chat about just like being a full-time, because you do a full-time still, right?
Yes, sir.
Engineering and production, yeah. And you're in Kelowna, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Kelowna.
Kelowna, is that what you're calling it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never actually been out there. What it's like? Like, what is it like?
Oh man. Yeah, come out this summer, man. You got a place to stay for sure.
Dude, hell yeah. Do you know Falk Films?
Yeah, I had the privilege of working with Adrian on a music video last fall.
Was it with
Like last.
Was it with Webster? The one with
Yeah,
Webster?
man.
Yeah, Webster's dope.
He's a great guy.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know Adrian sees in Kamloops and he's gone to Kelowna a couple times and he tells me, like, you got to get out there. He wants to go on a trip there because he likes it.
Yeah, hey, when the boats start coming out, man, all that, yeah, it's game over.
Yeah, because it's like it's on a big lake or something, yeah.
Hey, how can I make your video a little bit bigger for me, man? Pop out.
Yeah, do
You?
the pop out thing and then click on it and then it should change them to like equal sizes. Do you see that?
Yeah. Hey, oh, there we go. Now I got you on top. Nice.
Got it. Okay,
Perfect,
sweet.
man.
Sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So I thought with you, with everyone, like I want to have like a specific topic of conversation, so it's kind of streamlined. So with you, I thought we'd do, yeah, like what it's like being a full-time producer engineer. What you've had to do to get you. What your daily, life looks like now. And we'll get into all that, but maybe let's just start like how we both got into it. So why don't you start with like how you got into it, why you got into it, everything like that.
Yeah, I started my engineering journey around 2016, I would say. Okay. For reference, like my first song came out personally like in 2012. That's when I really kind of introduced myself to the idea of like recording music as a recording artist and engineering things.
Yeah,
I started with like that M Audio microphone package comes with like starter kit.
I don't know that one, but I had the Scarlett, the Scarlett Solo one. I had that one.
Yeah, exactly. So I started with that for about 4 years or so, and then around 2016, that was when I graduated high school. Around there is when I really found like a direction in music and the arts, and it was engineering music. So I just found there were so many people like that I ended up creating songs with like over that span of time where I was like learning about music myself, and I found so much fun in taking these visions and ideas and bringing them to life for an artist.
Right.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, do you do any production or is it like mostly engineering?
Yeah, just engineering. Okay. So my focuses are within vocal production and arrangement and then mixing. Mixing down tracks. So yeah, and then fast forward a little bit more, 2020 COVID started and I joined an art studio, and started a sublease into now what is now a lease for this studio, going just about 4 years strong now.
That's crazy. Then did you do that by yourself or was it?
Yeah,
really?
I mean, there's always people along the way, and there's tons of people that I have the privilege of like working with or alongside on projects and this and that like that
but I mean, you like lease a space. Did you like set off on that journey like by yourself?
Yeah.
That must have been pretty scary, bro.
Yeah, it's something else. But I mean, dude, nowadays, like, nowadays in Kelowna, like, the cost of this comparatively to actually having a really nice separated, like, a home studio that's, you know, separate from, like, totally going into your home, like, it's almost similar, like, comparably right now. So, yeah, pretty privileged in that regard as well. But yeah,
Definitely, man. Yeah, okay, so
That's kinda
you
my-
don't do any like productions, just engineering.
yeah. So if I'm looking for, if I have people that reach out that are like earlier on in the process, or that, you know, are looking for people to produce, I have you just create that network, right? And I have someone to go to, like if you're a band or an alternative or indie band, I have a couple different people to go to if you're doing R&B or pop or rap. And then that allows me just to kind of focus in on what I'm good at, and you know, go from there, right? Aces in their places.
Yeah, I just think it's very interesting because I feel like nowadays it's very like, I'm sure you know, like with vocal presets and everything, like it almost feels like the role of the engineer is being kind of pushed out in a sense. And people just more refer to themselves as like producers. And so I thought it was really cool, like, that you kind of brand yourself and you only focus on the engineering. I do production as well, just because like I need to do that as well, to be able to do it full time. I mean, I guess I don't do a lot of production, but I just like to offer it too. And I guess it is a nice, for me it's a nice,
right, you know,
say again?
There's avenues to take too, you know, and like I'm sure there's a lot of things that like you enjoy doing, you know, that people need from you. So.
Yeah, it's nice. Like for me, I love, same with you, like my bread and butter is engineering, to be honest. I like producing, but really like engineering is what I'm really passionate about. I don't know why. I think it might just be because like I like having the final say like on the song. I like doing having the final touches on it, so then I know when I'm done with it, like this is what it's gonna sound like. Whereas when you produce something, it's like they still got to record, and then someone's got to mix it, and it's this whole process.
Oh, there's a bridge now, or
yeah,
versus.
yeah. I didn't think it was gonna go down like that. It's just more variable. Where engineering, I don't know. I like to be that kind of last chain in the process of like how you get from the beginning to the end of a song. So, but it is nice for me every now and then to like make a custom beat or something like that for someone, just to switch it up from the engineering.
Yeah.
But yeah, engineering is really what I guess kind of started on as well. And I mean, I didn't
Are you
actually
doing any
songwriting
recently, or
yeah, I do songwriting. I have like one major songwriting client. Shame he actually just got like really badly injured, so we haven't worked in like well, I guess I did do something for him last month, but we slowed down a little bit. But I've been working with him for like years and years. And that's how I actually started like making money, was through Fiverr. You know Fiverr? Yeah, so I was doing like songwriting on Fiverr.
That's wild.
And then I started doing a little bit of engineering on Fiverr as well, and then a little bit of production. But it was really like the songwriting that started it, and I don't know. I guess I thought in the beginning that was like the easiest thing that I could do, because before that I was just doing vocals, right? So I was like, let's just do songwriting, and then from there it just, I guess, went into engineering, and then I found like a passion for engineering, and then that's like, I would say like, in terms of paid work, like 80% of what I do is engineering still, which I like, because yeah, that's what I'm passionate about. But let's get into some plugins. Favorite plugins?
Oh, hot takes already.
Yeah. Some underrated gems people should know about.
Yeah. Oh, underrated gems. Waves NS1 noise suppressor.
Yeah, I use that too, bro.
Really good one, man. That one's just so easy, so reliable. I do enjoy Waves a fair bit. Like all the legacy stuff. Even though there's like very questionable ethics going on, the reliability, like when I'm looking for like stuff to use, like just the reliability and consistency of it is so important to me, honestly, to like get the job done. But like loading up the projects nicely and like actually like being nice with latency and delay compensation, all that jazz. Um, there's some good. Hmm.
What
I
other waves
think.
ones do you like? Because for me, like, I think I use NS1 and then I used to use Smack Attack.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I
ever
mean,
Smack
H
Attack?
delay is a classic.
I haven't
That's a
used
classic,
that.
absolute classic delay plugin. That's
Okay.
like any pop song or anything from the 2000s. Like that's just like absolute classic delay plugin. There's a lo-fi
Okay.
button on it too. That's really nice, and like some phase flipping options.
Mm.
Yeah, and then I really like Metric Halo. They've got a channel strip, and then like a character plugin that's essentially just like very relaxed like saturation types, whether it's like American Transformer or Modern Tube, like probably about 25 different options.
Okay.
In terms of saturation too, I really like there's a True Iron by Kazrog. That's a really good one. That's kind of in that like
I've
chill
never heard
range.
of that. True Iron by Kazrog.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy.
It's like a just for like modeling transformers. There's about 6 different transformers you can choose from, and then just like a strength and a mix knob.
Are you into the Fab
that's
Filter
pretty
stuff at all?
Yeah, love
Okay,
Fab
yeah.
Filter.
Yeah.
Q3, Pro
Yeah.
MB.
Classic.
Those are like huge go-tos. I've used the Pro L2 for what seems like a lifetime.
Yeah.
And like, man, I mean, I'll try. Like, I'm trying new
Yeah.
things all the time because sometimes it like feel like it's not working for me, but it's just so comfortable, you know.
I think
like,
with those plugins, it's so easy to get like stuck in just using them all the time, and then like
Yeah.
I find myself throughout periods of like my engineering career like not trying anything different and just like going to the same plugins because they work so well. But then at the same
Yeah.
time, like you said, I feel like, you know, you should always be trying new stuff just in case you find a gem or like you find some way
Oh,
of
yeah.
doing things that like I think it's just a good rule for everything in life. Like, you know, you should try and push yourself to try new ways of doing things. But
Mhm.
yeah, the Fab Filter stuff is awesome. I mean, the EQ, the compressor, the limiter,
Yeah.
all like
I do love
stock.
Arturia actually.
Mm.
Arturia has some great compressors. They've got like a 76, like the regular Black Edition. It's super nice. They've like a style level that's super kind of mushy and gluey. They've got like a DBX 160 too. They're all really nice and reliable, really easy to use.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's sweet. And in terms of like effect plugins or like
Eventide. I love using Eventide plugins. So like they have like the H3000, which was like that used to be like that digital processing box. That's where you can get like your micro shift kind of stuff from. And then they also have like a harmonizer type of plugins. They're models after their hardware. It's like the harmonizer, dual harmonizer 949, and some ones that you can even play with like a keyboard. But they're really great for like different delay and slap effects, and what they're known for is that like shift of like like taking something right and left, delaying it a touch, and then, you know, wavering it like by like 3 cents or 9 cents or whatever you choose, so it kind of does the like the Prince vocal kind of thing.
Okay.
I'd say that's a huge thing for at least vocal productions. Along with effects plugins, I love convolution reverbs. So
Oh yeah.
stuff like Verb Suite by Slate and Seventh Heaven by Liquid Sonics. Those are like really big go-tos for me. And then yeah, I'll throw in like Pro R is good too.
Yeah, I use that
like
sometimes. Yeah.
Verb sometimes. Valhalla Delay actually, it's noisy, but Valhalla Delay has a very smooth like feedback. Like things really, instead of just like on and off, is like there's a real smooth kind of move to it that I really like, especially for ping pong delays.
Okay, I don't
It's
think I've
actually-
used Valhalla Delay. I have obviously Vintage Verb. Love that.
Yeah,
Can do so much with
Try
that. And then
demo it.
Supermassive a little bit I've used sometimes.
Yeah.
And
It's hard to
control.
control the Supermassive.
It is, yeah.
It's
I
like-
always just like mess with it. I put it on and then I'm like, nah, Vintage Verb.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah, it just goes like it does what
Yeah.
it wants to do. But yeah, dude, try Valhalla Delay on like a ping pong,
Yeah, I need to
like
get
a
that.
half note or something. Turn like there's like a little diffusion thing, which is like a reverb inside of it, and it just swirls so soft. It's really
Okay,
nice.
so wait, you said ping pong, half.
Yeah, ping pong, half note,
Half
and
note
then
delay.
turn the
Okay.
diffusion up like 15% or so, and it's
Okay.
it's sometimes because ping pongs can be really obnoxious, like when they're just on off super wide.
Yeah.
It's a fun one.
Okay.
Last but not least, I like Good Hertz. They've got some good plugins like
I think I've
some
heard
like
of them.
trashy stuff, low high and like lossy. Get some like it's kind of like a lo-fi thing that you have in Pro Tools, and then there's like a limiter, Faraday limiter.
The big
and,
DAW question: are you on Pro Tools?
no, Matt. I got Pro Tools. You know what I use Pro Tools for? Open up and export sessions. That's it.
Okay, good,
That's-
good. What do you Logic?
No, sir, man. I actually use Reaper. That's my DAW choice.
What?
Yeah, so pretty left field, man.
That is
That's for sure.
very left field, bro.
Yeah.
I feel like I
Yeah.
might have seen you post like some photo of your DAW, and I was like, huh, what is that?
Yeah, it's very much like a build your own DAW. It's open source, so
Is it so it's very
Yeah,
customizable?
very extremely like
Hmm.
you could create
Is it
almost a whole new DAW for different things. Like say if you're doing a podcast edit, you could pretty much create a whole new interface just to work with what you're trying to do there, as opposed to something else. But
is it
yeah.
cloud based or is it like app based?
it's app based. Yeah.
Okay. Because I know there is some DAW that's like cloud based, but yeah, that's interesting. But I don't think I've ever like sat down with someone that's like been working in Reaper or like messed around with Reaper myself. I've just been on FL Studio. Well, Ableton
Oh.
actually in the beginning for like half a second there, and then
Nice.
I switched pretty soon to FL, and then I've just been on FL since I don't even know how many years now. 6 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
Just because that's like
Yeah, I love that.
I'm just used to it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to
Of
do
course.
everything in it, and I don't know what your take is on this, but some people will say like, Pro Tools is best for recording, then Logic is best for mixing. Then I don't know. I don't know about all that, man. I'm like, if you just have good plugins, does it really matter like what DAW you're in? I don't know.
I don't think it matters, man. The
Yeah.
only time it will matter is if you physically need to collaborate with people and there's
Yeah.
a conflict between DOS, like
Yeah.
that. Or the only other thing I could see is like editing workflows are a little bit different sometimes. So like there are things that DAWs excel at, and like if you're specifically trying to do something that like that it has the feature set for, but it's not like as robust or like just as easy, like sure, maybe try something else out.
Yeah.
Like I'd say Pro Tools is fantastic for like comping and playlisting and editing,
Man,
editing things.
Yeah, I did Pro
right?
Tools a bit in. Did you study audio engineering, by the way?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
I
did.
took a music business course actually. I
Okay.
didn't take like sound and hearing or like an engineering course per se,
Okay.
but
Where was that?
yeah,
Where was that through?
it was through NYU online.
Okay,
It's
sweet,
it's
sweet,
with
sweet.
the Clive Davis Institute. And it kind of
Mm.
just teaches you, you know,
Where have I
things
heard
like
that?
public.
Clive Davis Institute of something. I
Yeah.
swear I've seen ads for
Yeah.
that or something.
Of recorded music, yeah.
Yeah.
But essentially like
Was that good?
it tells you like, okay, what is your music worth when you put it out there? What are these associations? What are, just the side of things that you need to make sense of when your music's out in the world.
Was it focused on the business side of things more, like how to make money from it and how to turn it into a business? Okay, it was.
Yeah.
Because that was like my problems. I studied at, I don't know if you've heard of Douglas College.
Hmm.
It's a college here. I studied like what's it called, music technology, there. And my problem with it was, it's just like there was just no real like application. They just kind of took us and then took us through like, oh, how do you drag something into Pro Tools, and then how do you export, and then how do you create this and that. And I'm like this is great, but I've already learned how to do all this on FL Studio. Like, I don't need to sit here for a year and a half and learn how to do it on a different software.
Yeah.
And I just got fed up, man. Like, after a while, I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah. Like even, I mean, it's nice to learn stuff like for live scenarios, or like how to mic up a drum kit, and then like, okay, now give us 20 samples of all these different techniques and positions and stuff.
I think that's
like
cool.
some of it's cool.
Especially as someone who just wants to like.
But if you're niching down,
that's
right?
the thing. That's why I had a problem with it.
Yeah, I feel like that was one of my qualms when I was like, I started in grade 10. I started this when I was in grade 10 or so. That's where my vision started, right, of where I was going.
Pretty similar, yeah.
Right.
Grade 10, yeah.
And like those first 2 years of building the foundational knowledge, like I was reading textbooks, like I was studying myself. So to feel like I had to pay like upwards of 30K and then relearn a lot, like to maybe just get a network or something, when I felt like I kind of knew my path, I knew the basics. I would say the only trade-offs are like, maybe it took me 5 years and obstacles to hit where I didn't even know what the problem was. And then when I knew the problem, I had to learn how to fix it. And then you move on. So like those obstacles take a lot longer, and your time learning is a lot longer. But
when you're doing it by yourself, you say?
By yourself, right? As opposed to a fast track with a school. But then after that, and just getting yourself out in the world and getting experience, like as long as you kind of have these things figured out, like on a foundational level, like you're good to go, and you're going to learn from the people around you so much. I think every single person I work with has a totally different process for music, and like I feel like those kinds of things, and the relationships, and learning how to work with people's process, and like that teaches me so much, more at the end of the day,
I guess it is the whole, like, the community aspect is good of like studying that, because you get to be around a whole lot of like-minded people. But yeah, I just think I got to a point with it where I was like, I don't know, I was a year or so into the course, and I had already started making money like engineering, and I just felt like it wasn't worth my time. Like I hit a point where I was like, it's more worth just spending the time on the business and figuring out how to get more clients than it is going to school and like doing this stuff in Pro Tools and Logic and doing like live sound and stuff, which maybe some people want to do, but I already knew I wanted to niche down and just do like engineering, like online engineering. So, and that was like where I was like, okay, yeah, like, and I dropped out. I was like, I'm not gonna finish this because it's not gonna work for me. But I think like if you don't know what you want to do, I think a course like the one I took is very nice entry level, because it exposes you to scoring and live sound and mixing and production and different. But I think if you at the point already where you know what you want to do, you need something a little more specific. And I think maybe that's where like the thing that you took, where it was more business focused, I probably would have benefited a bit more from something like that at the time.
Yeah. And I think that's why if you think about the journey of most, like the classic journey for an engineer or something like that, it's finding a mentor, right? Because
do you have a mentor?
Those people, I wish, man.
Me too.
Me too. I wish bro. Like it's hard out here, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm fortunate. I've got like a great support group of people, you know.
Hmm.
Aside from like my artists and people I work with too, but like yeah, I think that's like a huge thing as well, right? That if you can find someone coming up that can just show you the way, or just the etiquette, just how, like, just learn how to move,
Hmm.
stuff like that, and then your eyes open up um like projects at a level that they're on already as well. You're going to comprehend things, um and latch onto things better. I think too, a part of the growing experience as an engineer is working on projects with a higher level of dedication, or
Hmm.
production, or this and that, and like that opens the door for you to perform better, like in general. And I think that's a huge thing with mentorships.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing I do feel like in a sense I still lack. I just need it on a different level now. It's not really like
Yeah.
getting my foot in the door, but I need mentorship on like a different level. But it's like it's so hard to find that unless you're like, unless you're around someone who you can just naturally kind of gel with and form a relationship. I guess like you have to pay like thousands and thousands of dollars for a mentor, and then even then it's like, I mean, I'm sure I could like vet someone out, but then it's like, I don't know, man. It's just like
Mhm.
I'm just not around anyone where that's like an option, I guess. But yeah, so I've also just done like just try to figure things out for myself, and obviously like I have a lot of producer and engineer friends, and we just like spit ideas back and forth, I guess. But it's a hard industry to be in. No doubt
100%,
about it.
man. Yeah, how's the year been for you? Like,
Like
how you
last year,
feeling this year?
like the start of this year.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean January I had a good month. I guess if we're just talking like financially, it was a decent month, and I worked on some cool projects. I think that's something I want to focus more on this year too. Is like it's cool to focus on like financial goals, but at the same time, like if that's all you're focusing on, you're not enjoying like the work. Then it's like,
Yeah.
what's the point? So I think last year was just a big focus on that stuff. Where it still needs to be a focus of mine for this year, but I also want to focus on more like passion projects and just more things that I'm like super passionate about. So I want to put together like an album that's exclusively
Mhm.
like mixed by me. So just get like my favorite clients together on an album. And that's you could take that idea if you
Uh,
want, bro.
Almost. Oh, bro. Yeah, that's nice. I love that.
Uh,
Yeah, mixtape
yeah,
or
exactly. Like an album or something just with like my favorite artists, and then just like mixed by me, but also like put together by me. Like I guess you could call like
executive
executively
produced.
produced. So like yeah,
Yeah.
you would sound good on a song with this guy on this type of beat or whatever, and just like stuff like that. Um, I am like starting to work with more artists who I enjoy their music, but as I'm sure you know, as it goes, there's always songs you work on where it's like, like this is not ideally what I would want to be working on, but it's part of the job, right? It's part of
Oh yeah.
anything. I think like even though like we're blessed and we get to do what we love, which is engineering, it's like some people think it's all just like sunshine and rainbows and everything's perfect. It's like no, dude. Like it's like
Yeah.
any other job. We still get projects that we have to work on that maybe we don't like. We're not so like super passionate about. We're not crazy about
Mhm.
this project, but it's like it's part of the job, and we're still gonna do our best to deliver the best product we can to our clients because they paid good money for it.
Yeah.
So
It's
it's
a difference in position of like even say, you're an artist or whatever. You can have selectivity, or like you can be selective of what you do, where you go, what things you make, what you create. Um, there's even positions like that as producers, where people are like, I feel like there's two avenues where, like, you can feel like you can either be extremely curated, and like that can work out really well for you in terms of who you work with, what you do, what you create,
yeah, you're
or
right. You're right.
you can open your doors a little bit, and you become, you still work on a lot of things you're proud of, but it's more of a business oriented avenue.
You said that.
Like,
You said that perfectly. Yeah.
You know, like
That's yeah.
like in my opinion, man, like I try not to have any ego when it comes to even like maybe quality of music or songs, you know? As long as it's something I can respect a little bit and I know that they are respecting like what they're trying to do. Maybe the quality isn't there
Mm-hmm.
because of A, B, and C in these areas, but if they're putting the effort in and you know, respecting the music and respecting me, like I'm here to just enhance that vision, you know, in whatever
Exactly.
way
Yeah.
that becomes, right?
What I
Like
what I like to
I'll
do a lot of the time. Sorry to cut you off, but I just want to
yeah,
like
go no, go ahead.
what I like in terms of some projects like that where it's like you said, like maybe things aren't lining up here, there, and there. What I also like to do is just say like, hey man, I noticed in the recording process like there's quite a bit of background noise in your mic. Like if you got a chaotic eyeball, you got some better acoustic treatment, and you recorded this way, you know, maybe we could fix that at least, or
Mhm.
this flow, like that type of flow, you know, a bit off time here, and here. I think if you did something like this, it would be better. So I always try and give like constructive criticism as well, like whenever I deliver a final project to someone, where I can see fit. If there's nothing that I want to say, I'm not gonna make some random shit up. But if there's
Yeah,
something that I can see that could sound better in a different way, I just like to say to them in the most respectful way possible, like, hey man, this is what I think, you know, take it or leave it. And like a lot of the time it's just like really good feedback. They're like, oh man, yeah, thanks, actually, yeah, I could see that, or oh, thanks for your opinion, like whatever. um so that's, it's also just kind of like, I think they respect you when they can see like you're going the extra mile to also just try and deliver, you're doing the project but then also trying to help them improve other areas of their music so that the final project can be better.
totally, man. Yeah, like a lot of people just need like, you know, whether it's a therapist or a person to listen, like just like literally hear them out and this art that they're creating, you know, being someone to like translate it for them, and then also like feel like you're on their side of the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like along with them over time. And then the people who are going to take the feedback like well, um are the ones that are going to be, you know, coming back over a long period of time, and you know, they're going to come back and maybe their pitch is better, right? Like they did work on their singing, if or they did work on this, and
Mm-hmm.
and then they have that growth, you know, that's like just
Yeah,
awesome to see.
yeah. Going back to what you were saying about like um how you can either choose like be very selective and like
Yeah.
really curate who you work with and and then versus being a business, like that's an interesting concept because I see that all the time.
Uh,
It's so obvious.
Me too.
It's like a one or two path. Like someone's either
Yeah.
gone one or two, and it's like, so when you said
Yeah.
that, I was like, oh, it's so good
Yeah.
because it's such an obvious like thing to see, and there's no right or wrong. It's
Mhm.
100% just what you prefer. Like I have friends who are artists who they have full-time jobs and then they just do their art, but that's the way they want to do it and that works for them, and that's that way they feel they can just, when they are making music, they can just be the most authentic and just really enjoy that time, and that works for them. Whereas like for me, it's like I wanted to go the business route so that I didn't have to work another job and I could just do music all the time,
Mhm.
and that's what worked for me. But like it's different for everyone, but it's just interesting, like, yeah, like why people make those different decisions, and I don't know what it was like for you, but for me it was like out of necessity that I went the business route because I needed to start
Yeah.
making money, and then I got a job or two and I was like, I absolutely hate this, like I cannot
Mhm.
do this. It was just I was
Yeah.
just like in such a low place, and I was like, I need to figure this music stuff out like right now, and I did, and you know, thank God. And that's, but I don't know what your experience was like with that. Um,
Yeah, I hear you, man. It's a lot of it for me. It was like, you know, out of necessity, right?
okay,
Like
it's kind of
in
similar.
terms of why I'm here is because like in the big picture, I love the arts. Like I love sculptures, I love painting, I love creative direction, stuff like that. Like and then this was what happened to be like, you know, where I fit, you know, after I tried all kinds of things and maybe it didn't work out.
Right.
And then, you know, in terms of like, pursuing this, yeah, like I just didn't really have like in terms of my fate and the trajectory of my life and such, like I just didn't have many other options other than to double down and really pursue what I wanted to do. And even when those years where I'm working full-time jobs and trying to handle this, or
Yeah.
part-time jobs, or on-call jobs and part-time jobs, and this like all that, like those can work. Sometimes it can be beneficial too, but for me, like life comes in waves, and like sometimes things like blow up like on the music side of things or whatever, and like it's like just sheer time management just is like thrown out the window. Like every moment is like you're trying to hold on to like you're trying to hold on to these different business relationships, whether it's employee or client or this or that, right? And all individual and like individually, of course, right? um so yeah, I hear you. Like in terms of pursuing music, like it was always a matter of time for me. Like I didn't really care about the money, and I still don't. I mean, aside from surviving and
Mm.
moving forward with my life, but like how I see it, like I look at the clock first, and like if I can, as long as I have the freedom and the capability to utilize my time, like especially at my age, I'm mid 20s now. Like my time is the most important thing to me, and if I can dedicate more time to what I'm doing aside from maybe working and having something more comfortable, or these other scenarios, like I'll take that for the opportunity for growth, the chance to be better at communicating with people I create music with, to become more available. I feel like that's a huge thing, is just the subconscious idea that I can, that this person can book or work with you, um,
Because you have the free
when
time, or
right, exactly, just the concept of availability, right?
mm-hmm.
Because I mean, every person has their routine, like going to the gym, right?
Yeah.
Person A loves the early afternoons, person B loves evenings, right? And like
Mm-hmm.
making all of those work, right? Like and even volume, right? In business, right? Like generating any sort of sustainable income off of music, you almost need to start out being a lot more available, because your hours are going to be scattered a little bit until you learn how to kind of condense them, and you get a volume of clients or artists that you
Mm-hmm.
work with that then you can piece together a day, or
Yeah.
a few days or a week, right? Aside from like an AM here and a late night over here and a this and a that, right?
Yeah, I mean,
um
it can be very scattered, and I remember my schedule used to be terrible, not just in
yeah.
terms of working with clients, but just my daily routines and habits and stuff was just
Oh
terrible.
yeah,
And I
man.
think I think when I quit my last job in, I think we were chatting about it a while ago, like June, I think it was last
Hmm.
year. I was like, I was really financially stressed because my rent is a lot higher than it used to be here, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, well, if I'm gonna quit this job, I need to like spend almost like every waking moment trying to like take one step forward. And I was like, how am I going to do that? Okay, I need a proper routine for myself. And when I put that proper routine in, which includes like getting up at a specific time, gymming at a specific time, having lunch at a specific time, then all my different musical tasks at a specific time, and all the content creation stuff. That's, I don't know, that's just when like for me it kind of clicked and it started working, and then slowly I could start to see the results from that. But I think, yeah, sometimes it's so hard to put that, because it's always that, it's like that freedom versus routine thing. Like a lot of people
Yeah.
become slaves to like their own routine or someone else's routine that's put onto them. So
Hmm.
whenever I would have a job, I just felt like I don't know, I didn't like not having that freedom of deciding for myself when to do what. But for some reason, for me, and I think everyone's probably different, but for me, when I am able to put that routine in for myself, like decide what I do every hour of the day, it still be like a routine. It still be like a stringent routine to where like I'm like, if you want to say strict on myself,
like on your own volition.
But it's on my own volition, and that doesn't feel as bad to me. Like I don't feel as much of like a prisoner to that system as I do when it's from someone else. And I don't think everyone's like that. I think that's just me. But yeah, that concept of like freedom versus routine and like that balance is like is something that I guess over the last couple of years I've been trying to figure out, and I feel like it's in a nice place now.
That's amazing, man.
But at the same time, it always changes.
It does change, right?
Yeah, but it always changes. It always changes. When things change, you have to change.
Mm-hmm.
You do a lot more in-person sessions than me, I feel like. Yeah.
I mean, in terms of like producing vocals, there's a lot of people like they're coming in to record, right? And then breaking off from there, there's like, in terms of mixing, it kind of goes in half, where there's half of the people are maybe just taking the song to the finish line through me, or the other half would be, you know, receiving projects that are completed and songs that are totally written and ready for mix down.
Okay, so you do kind of half within the recording process as well, and then half just getting the stems.
Yeah.
And
that would include
any preference
also,
there? Or just every project's different, maybe.
You know what? Yeah, I think my favorite thing to do is just focusing on like one aspect. Unless something is really like, I love vocal producing, mixing, and taking it even like, you know, to the master or whichever. But I do like focusing in on one aspect and being able to hand it off to someone in good standing, you know, and being like, all right, sweet, I crushed it, like here.
Your turn.
And a lot of time, right, exactly. Yeah. And a lot of times those are like projects that are like, you know, a lot bigger than me or something too. So I love that. I also, I enjoy mixing stuff I've recorded as well. But there is like this is working or it's not working kind of scenario with those types of songs, like straight away from even cutting the vocals, right? And then in terms of just mixing tracks, it's I think it's super fun because same thing, you get a fresh perspective. You're entering the song, and like and this is why I recommend, like, at least, you know, you don't have to have tons of people working on your music, but getting fresh perspectives is nice. And like, especially like in terms of someone who's a producer and maybe looking to mix their productions as well, finding like a connection with someone who can co-mix with you or co-produce and mix, taking the weight off. Because I find when you wear a lot of hats, it can be really hard to hold on to perspective, or like when you know what snare sample you used, and like, oh, you transposed it and this and that. Sometimes you can get amazing results, but there's also something to be said about, like, you know, when I have the privilege of receiving a song just to mix, and like, I don't know, I mean, aside from looking at the file titles, I don't know anything other than the backstory they've chosen to give me, where they're looking to go, and how much more they need out of it.
So like, you can do something totally different with that project that might not be expected, but comes out really, really well.
Right?
Yeah. That's cool. That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
I love having these, you know, those like almost individualized tasks. Projects seem to turn over faster.
Makes sense.
Sometimes there's just less emotional turmoil, you know. Collaboration, you know, more collaboration and such. Maybe it was a little bit long-winded, but
no, I feel that. Yeah.
I mean, all cases are like, those are things I do. I love doing it. So, but
I guess we'll get into a couple last questions here. I got one that I have on mind, and then we'll just like chat about what we want for the future, I guess. Favorite genre to mix, real quick.
Yeah.
Any favorite genre or?
I love
doesn't
R&B,
matter?
man.
That's
Yeah.
a good one. That's a good
I
one.
love R&B or like stuff that's a bit more gospel or things like that.
Okay.
Super sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I really like heavier rap styles as well. That could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Super like processing can be extreme and everything, and like sometimes you don't have all the assets you need or anything, but sometimes when it's fast and fun, like it can be really fun.
Yeah.
You know,
When it's fast and
like,
fun, it can be fun.
like when you're winging, like the pressure's on, you're going,
You're in the
there-
zone. You're like locked in. Yeah.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
different mentalities to these genres of music, and but
Yeah.
yeah, dude, I love R&B music. That's like my main thing, pop, R&B.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
I haven't mixed enough R&B. I mixed
Yeah.
a handful of R&B songs.
Not a
but
lot.
I
Bring
love.
on here, man.
I love. There's a lot in Kelowna.
There's not a lot.
Oh, there's not a lot, yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
singer-songwriters, but
Yeah, I like stripped back songs for sure, like some pop ones. But then I also really enjoy like the things where I can get creative with automation clips and processing and use of the stereo field and crazy weird effects, and like I find like I have the most fun on projects where I'm experimenting. So when I take Portal or Gross Beat and I throw it on a vocal and I'm like, let's see what I can come up with. Let's see if this is gonna sound good. Like that's where I have the most fun. So like hyperpop, I really enjoy mixing the hyperpop because I just have so much free reign to like do a bunch of crazy effects. I guess rage as well a little bit, like when I do some of the like new wave hip hop stuff. But then I also really do enjoy just like a really like beautiful vocal take and simple backing, and then doing just very simple things like a little reverb sweep up, like automated
ballads or stuff.
Yeah, just doing simple effects on things like that just sounds so beautiful, and like it just comes together so well. So yeah, I guess it's like the two extremes, like the really intense stuff and then the really soft stuff. I guess I like to play like on those like extreme side of things. But
And man, I think in terms of rap too, I think the genre that's on the up right now is West Coast. I think West Coast rap is gonna
like
pick up a lot.
Who's leading?
Like anyone from OGZ to Wiz Khalifa, those.
Why do you think
in that kind of area? I just think because of the simplicity, just the smoothness. I think it's maybe going to be a bit of a switch from a lot of the more abrasive sounds that like I enjoy, but I just think it's going to be like a kind of a switch up.
I think like like some people did bring that back with scam rap, where you have like
totally Detroit.
What are their names?
Detroit,
like BLP Kosher. I don't know
yeah,
if he was reading.
Babyface.
What is that? Like a Babytron.
Babytron.
Yeah, like back to like like not overly processed stuff, to back to just like very simple rap vocals. I think there is like a pushback now in pop and hip hop where like we've had hyper pop, we've had rage, we've had glow, we've had all these crazy like really intense genres with so much editing and so much, like you said, abrasiveness. Yeah. And I agree. I think there is already like you're starting to see like a pullback within those like larger genres of like just back to more like the roots, back to like simpler stuff. But I don't know. I've never really been into West Coast stuff. I mean, I used to listen to a bit of Wiz Khalifa back in the day, but I can't say I know who's like really fronting those genres nowadays. Who's like leading the front there? But who knows? I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. And then, okay, let's wrap it up with this. Next 5 years, I guess, business goals, life goals. Where do you want to see yourself in 5 years? The classic question. I guess focused around the topic of engineering and
I'm really focused on building out a community here in Kelowna.
Okay.
That's a huge goal for myself, and then in the future here, learning to travel, hopefully even come this spring, I might have an opportunity to go down to the States
Nice. Where?
and do some work, but, out in Houston. So yeah, we'll be in Texas. But yeah, I think my main goals are to find stability and garner like the best community I can, even just in Kelowna and the Okanagan, and expand that into something that's even much more bigger than I am, and physically expand that business wise as well with multiple studios to work in,
Okay, yeah.
whether you're recording or production. So those have been things that have always been really on the forefront of my mind, and like very close. Like there have been a lot of moments in the last year or so where those opportunities have almost arisen, and then they've moved out of the way and
It's
come back.
Those
And
are the worst when it happens like that, man.
yeah,
You just gotta hold
it's
on.
a long haul focusing on it, but like I'm confident that growth is gonna happen, and then from there, like I'm not needed. So one of my goals is to just physically not have to be here, and to maintain a community, right? Maintain something that's working and continuously,
With
and then I can
employees at the
expand
studio and stuff, and then you can
yeah,
look on. Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's
yeah,
awesome.
my
Joel.
horizons can grow as well, because like it's hard. I'd say it's hard for me to find motivation to travel. I mean, I'd love. I'm very much selfless in this endeavor where I like, sure, I could just focus on my personal career, but I really I see something that's bigger and a lot more physical here as well, that could grow,
Mm-hmm.
um, that I'd love to see through before I peel off, and I think that would even be more beneficial. And I'd even say too, for like people that are looking to get started in music and engineering or producing, uh, we're talking about like being full-time engineers. A lot of times, like the idea of that isn't always what you think it is,
Yes, we didn't
and
even
like,
really get into that, but
right,
well, I guess we did
like,
kind of. We didn't address it
yeah,
directly, but
yeah,
we got into it. But yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, but like being full-time is a lot of it's just purely a commitment and a mindset into bettering yourself. Like there there are weeks when I'm more than full-time working on music. There are weeks where I'm certainly not, but I'm still allocating my time every day into learning how can I make my systems better, how can I improve what I'm doing, how can I organize, like you're organizing your files. So much of what we do is not the music, and
Yes.
constantly finding ways to improve that, making it less stressful, easier of a process. Learning, like just going out there and checking out what was happening at NAM, like online. All these little things are like it's a part of you being in a culture that is what you're pursuing and you're contributing to, right? Being an engineer.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the like important facets in terms of time, is like it's you need to be actively doing things that are also just adjacent to what this whole, like what music is,
Yeah.
and that makes you full time.
Yeah. You said that perfectly. Like, I think a lot of people think it's like, oh, I'm just gonna be working on 6 songs all day. It's like, no, there's so
Yeah,
much that goes on in the background of, like you said,
no chance.
how can I better this system? How can I network with people better? How can I produce better content? What strategy can I use to maximize my time? There's so much that you have to work on yourself and on the business side of things that might not seem as
Yeah,
exciting as like mixing a really cool hip hop song. But it's
yeah,
all part of it, and you, in a way, you really have to fall in love with like that part of it as well. You can't just
totally.
fall in love with like, and that's something I had to learn to do. Like, you can't just fall in love with when you're actually mixing a song. Like, you have to really fall in love with the whole process and like all those little things you have to do every day that you might not have thought you had to do, or other people might not think you have to do to be a full-time producer or engineer. But yeah, that was perfect. So yeah, anyone that wants to get into it, I agree totally with that. It's like it's so much more than
shifting your focus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like even like for example, I had something this week where I'm working on my like project templates.
Yeah.
Like I tried using one, like I didn't really change very much, but for some reason it wasn't very happy to be used when I was like actually in the session recording, and I was like, you know, like making sure you test your stuff before you actually start using it. All those things were like, it's almost like a reflection of yourself. How professional, how much can you like bring yourself. It's like a perspective thing, trying to take care of these things and learning how to get better and treating yourself with that perspective of
I'm a business and I want to provide the best product that I can. Yeah.
And like that comes to all these small things in terms of file names and templates and stuff like that, and like testing things. And then also finding other avenues. Like there are other avenues in music that are not engineering that I'm pursuing, and that's what keeps me passionate, you know, too, as well. I'm hoping to get into like some live set capturing this year for artists, like with audio and video,
running live
like,
sound,
different angles. So essentially like taking like a duplicate of the mixer, like from whatever venue it is, and running it into like a live stream or a multicam setup and recording live sets. That's a thing, that's an idea that I've been pursuing with someone. I feel like isn't really around. And sure, you can get video, you can get photo, but like getting your whole set from start to finish with different angle switching and like the audio of the venue, that's one thing I'm pursuing this year. That, you know, it gets me out of the studio, it gets me to the shows, it allows me to become valuable, because a lot of people don't need me for an engineer, or they just don't care to find out. But those avenues are going to bring me stuff for engineering or around, like maybe not them, but their friends. But
no, you're so right. That's so sick. I've been at a show like that before, and it was awesome. Like, and I've seen many of. I don't know if do you know Nistopia?
No.
Okay, but
how do you spell it?
Niztopia. Yeah. He has a stream, and he did like a charity stream where it's, you got a bunch of like popular artists. I don't know if Breakins was on there, but 50 Landing, a lot of the hyperpop guys. I don't know if Eric Doe and stuff on it, and they did that where it was like a full set and like different angles switching throughout the whole thing. It's just so cool, and there's like a live chat and stuff. It was so cool. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's like a super cool idea, man. If you do end up doing that, I'd love to see like what you make. Like,
yeah, I'll show you. It's it's great for what I'm finding. Like the feedback is, it's great for people who are applying for festivals and such. Like literally in some of these applications, there's like, please link us a video of your performance. Like, so for that to be like, I mean, what we're doing is essentially we're like doing like a live camera operation. Like we don't edit. It literally, we're switching the cameras live. It's saving live.
Yeah.
And then you come out with like, if the set is like an hour long, it's like 10 gigabytes. So like, who wants to edit anyway? But that's
it's
looking forward to how that grows, and like you know, finding a purpose within venues, you know.
Yeah, it's a nice another avenue, like you said, just to explore, and it'll add on to like what you're doing in terms of engineering, and like you said, help get you out to the shows and meet more people, and just, like you said, build that community that you want to build in Kelowna. So yeah, that's sick, man. Anything you want to leave the stream with? Any last? I'm gonna make clips from this and post them. So I don't know if there's anything you want to end with or touch on. No.
Yeah. Nothing too much, man. Other than just, you know, keeping like a forward mindset. You know, when you're on your path, like allow yourself to just like understand you're living your life. Your life also doesn't revolve around your career, and things
Yeah.
are going to happen that impact what you're trying to pursue, that are outside
Of
of
your
life. And
control.
right,
Mhm.
yeah, just learn to roll with what you were given, right? Because there's a lot of things that we can take action and do for ourselves, and there's a lot of things that we are just totally subjected to. And luckily, I'm in a fantastic position, um, relatively speaking. But yeah, just um, moving like water, and letting yourself just kind of uh, do what you can and make the most of whatever you have, right?
Yeah, I like that. Like trying to focus on what's in your control, but when there are things outside your control, not to get hung up on them. And if they impact you, they impact you, and you fall off, but you get back on the horse when you can, type of thing. I think that's
Totally.
important. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a lot, even like project wise or whichever, there's a lot of music I'm extremely proud of. There's a lot of music that I maybe I wish was better and had a better potential in these areas or whichever, but
Mhm.
but uh I think if you're really in this, like, at least in maybe the avenue I am, it's about getting releases, about creating things and letting them live and stuff
Mhm.
like that.
I
But
see Adrian
yeah,
just said something in
my
the chat.
field.
Adrian said, "No way, what a collab." Falk Films.
Ah,
What's up, bro? We just had a whole
yeah,
hour chat. I'm sure it'll like post up now if you want to go watch any of it. But we were talking about you earlier. We got to get out to Kelowna, Adrian. Link up with the bro. Um, but yeah, man, that was awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the stream, bro.
yeah. Hey, thanks so much for listening to what I have to say, man. I felt like I had lots to put out there, so
Dude, of
I
course,
love to.
it's nice to chat to. Sorry, say again.
Oh, I'd love to hear more about you in the future as
Yeah,
well.
bro. We can always hop on another one or just chat and off stream too, obviously. And yeah, man. But it's nice to just connect with like another engineer. Like I said, it feels like they're so far and like few and far between nowadays. It's like
Yeah,
hard to find that. So, but yeah, we should just bounce ideas anytime you want to bounce ideas back and forth, man. Over DM, whatever. I'm super down.
totally.
Super down, bro.
Love it, man.
I'm gonna end the stream and then we can just chat for a sec off stream and then we can say bye. But yeah, thanks to those. I saw some people came through and watched, and anyone that watched.